Okay. Welcome, everybody, to a gathering of Eagles podcast. Tonight, we're just going to keep it light. Have a
I can help with that.
whoops.
Which of these
Have a little
providers would you
fun.
like to use?
Shut off my phone. Oh, and see where we go with this. We have other people coming in later. I know it looks like somebody else is here. Okay. There we go. So this one was going to be. We've been doing some pretty deep work on grief and fear and anxiety. So we just decided this time, just breathe deep, sit back, see where this goes, and take it from there. Oh, welcome to Tom. Looks like 14 people there up at Pine Ridge. Welcome, Tom. Welcome, folks. He's typing something quickly. Okay. All right. So 6 of the people there are young people, 22 and younger. All right. Good. So we got a nice mix of ages again. Does anybody want to open with the prayer? Or I will. Okay, I will. Wonkatonka, Tecumseh, Great Spirit, Great Mystery, God. Thank you for this time together. We thank you for this time to sit, relax, to bring in good, positive energy. We ask you to provide us whatever we need here tonight so we can have fun, at least a little bit of relief. We thank you for everything you've been giving us. We thank you for the tools we need to move ahead, the work we need to do to begin to weave a better, healthier, stronger, more loving planet to live on and people to live with. I thank you for all these things, and I ask you to continue to give all of us here in this circle tonight, all who listen to this, and all the people in the circles we work with, whatever we need to do the work of coming together, of beginning a new earth, the fifth earth, an earth of equality, an earth where men and women walk together in full equality and in full understanding. Om Mitakuye. Ancestors of the East, the place of new beginnings, we welcome you. We are in a place of new beginnings. Even those of us who are older and our hair has turned white, this is a time of new beginnings. Please work with us on these new beginnings without fear, without anxiety, with the way it is in the medicine wheel in the East, where we come in, where we haven't learned any of those things yet. Let us start building new. Om Mitakuye, all my relations. Ancestors of the South, the summertime on the medicine wheel, the time of heat, the time of creation and procreation. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We are building something new now, so help us. Let our backs be strong and our legs be sturdy, and our hands do the work they need to do to build in a new way, to serve as the spiders this time, weaving the new earth, just as the Kome did the first time around. Thank you for this. Thank you for all the tools. Oh, Mitakuye. Ancestors of the West, the fall, the cool time on the medicine wheel, place of many animals, the place of my wolf clan, Hotusugmanatutanka, the Grey Wolves. Thank you for being here tonight. You're the place of teachers and guides and protectors. Please be with us tonight as we do this. Let us all leave our worries in the basket at the door and just enjoy, 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 and sit with the mother in a good, positive way. Om Mitakuye. And finally, ancestors of the North, the winter time, the place of the old ones, the place where knowledge has been turned into wisdom. The place of white buffalo calf woman. The place of standing elk. The place of all the old ones, Jesus, Mohammed. Please be with us tonight as we enjoy this time out from worry, anxiety, and enjoy watching us as we play. Thank you for all you give us. Please continue to give us what we need, as we're not asking for ourselves, but for the whole hoop, so we can weave a new sacred hoop in the best possible way. Om Mitakuye. Father Sky, Mother Earth, last but far from least, thank you for being here. Thank you for demonstrating how male and female can work together in a good, positive way. Mother Earth, thank you for guiding my whole walk all these years. Please continue to do so. I still have work to do, as we all do. Thank you for all the tools. Thank you for your patience, because we humans are not the fastest learners in the world. Please continue to be patient. Give us more time to connect and reconnect. Om Mitakuye. All my relations. Ooh, okay. So, all right, why don't we go around? There's only a few of us. Who would like to say a few words? It could be name, why you're here, where you're from, which part of the house you're in, apparently. Whatever.
I'll jump on right away. So, management, got to be here last time, but I came in at the end. So it's nice to have that opening introduction. Like, it's just, it was a beautiful way to start everything off. So, really excited to be here. Got introduced by the group by our friend Jerry, and just been, I don't know. There's just so much knowledge and wisdom that he carries, and that, I don't know, anything that he does, down for. So I think we have a lot to learn from each other, and it's been almost full circle now, where it's like, we're learning and growing together, which is just a beautiful process. It's not like really lopsided, where just one person's pulling you up the hill. It's kind of a mutual exchange, which is just kind of beautiful to see. And I think just like almost like kind of passing the torch too, because you mentioned, what I like what you said, a bunch of young people that are on. I mean, they are the future generation of, the ones that are coming up, and the ones that are sprouting up, and they're different than the rest of us.
Yeah.
They hold a different vibration, and it's like, okay, we got to start including them earlier, start like bringing them up in the ways. And I don't know, I think it's just really beautiful to see that there is that continuity, and there is a bigger picture. You talked about this web that's being grown and that we're recreating, and I'm excited to be part of that. So thanks for having a space for us to do that.
Good words. Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Jim.
Whitney, anything to say?
Yeah, I just want to
Good.
say thank you for creating this space. Jerry is also pretty big in my heart. So it's just really good to be
Mhm.
here, and just deepening that community space within myself, and to be able to invite others into that heart vibration. I think just connecting in a good way. And this time, of the cold time with the many animals, and our relation of the plants going to sleep, and us kind of doing that with our own rhythm, just kind of being here and honoring that
Mhm.
too.
Thank you. Great. Oh, Nicole, do you wish to say anything?
Yes, thank
Oh,
you.
good.
Hi,
Hi
I'm
there.
just happy to be here and present. Jerry also invited me. Yeah, just to continue my knowledge and connection, and just continuing to just be a part of the vibration as we move forward collectively, and
Mhm.
find out different ways that I can positively be of service and impact that in a great way. And yeah, I'm just being here. So thank you so much. And it was a beautiful opening prayer. I thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Okay, here we are. So Jerry will be here eventually. Apparently, he's on Indian time. I thought we said no Indian time allowed when we do podcasts, but he forgot that element.
Old habits die hard.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, me too. I have to set the alarm, but I did, so I made it. Um, yeah, the one thing we talked about, and well, we got to remember this. Whoops, this is played. The people who play it after the show is always the biggest audience. So I don't know if you guys know about a worry basket and what a worry basket is, but I'll do a brief description anyway for those who are not here who might play it. And first, oh, we got a big hello from Tom and the 13 others up in Pine Ridge. It's cold there already. Oh, I'm glad I'm down here in Arizona. And I guess they've already had snow. Boy, nice. Have you guys had snow yet?
It's been thinking about it, but it's not yet.
Okay. Once again, I'm really glad I'm down here in Arizona. Uh, my body doesn't need any more cold weather. I had enough when I was younger. Um, there's two grandmothers there. Whoa, 92 and 95.
uh,
Yeah, one's grandmother Jan. Okay, she's leaving to go home later this week. So she's putting together a group of 5 or 6 grandmothers up on her res in, I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, grandmother, Michigan. Anyway, she will. And so they'll be joining us probably the same way, unfortunately. Or fortunately, doesn't matter. So welcome. They are thankful that we're doing something light this time and not digging too deep. And please do share the worry basket. Okay. Does anyone know what the worry basket is?
Mm-mm.
Well, then I guess I do have to be the one to talk about it. Okay. So when we do ceremony, especially when we do an Inipi, a sweat lodge, the tradition is there's a basket that you hang up and it's kind of conical, um, small bottom, funnels up or funnels down, depending on how you want to look at it. And it has leather straps and the ching-chings, the metal bits hanging from it. You hang it by the lodge. Some people hang it right on the lodge, some people on a post near the lodge. I generally have it on a post near the lodge, so it's not directly on it. And the tradition and custom is as you're coming in, whatever's bothering you that day at that moment, leave it behind. Put it there in the worry basket. So you can address it during the ceremony, but it won't interfere with you clearing and growing and expanding in the lodge. And so we have a metaphorical, actually have a real worry basket over there. We have a metaphorical worry basket hanging here tonight. So if there's anything that's particularly stressing you, go ahead and dump it in there. If you really are not a wise person, you can pick it up again on the way out. No. Um, you can still work on it in the lodge, whatever the issues are. They're just not there getting in your face and tripping you up. So that is the tradition of the worry basket. Okay. Here we go. Bringing in Pine Ridge again. Tom says they think they're going to be very active tonight. Everybody's excited. Okay, good. Yeah, we love having you. Uh, okay. So Grandmother Jan, who's been on before, says her understanding of the worry basket is, as I put it, but that it originally was used by the women to carry things around camp. Okay. So it was a little bit different. It was larger. It was on their back, and they carried things around camp. Could be food, could be anything. All right. And then, oh, so sometimes that was hard work, and it eventually turned into the smaller version that we're talking about now. That's the worry basket. So you take it off your back, you put your worries in it, and you enter the lodge or other ceremonies. And she's right. It can be used in other ceremonies. I'm used to using it when we're doing a lodge, but I know some people use it when they're lighting the pipe or whatever they're doing. So that's a worry basket. We've got it there. Fill it up, guys. We don't want that stuff in here. Does anybody have anything they want to contribute? A story, a thought, a prayer, a song? Do we have any singers today? No? It's sure as hell not me. I can I can write and I can speak, but I don't dance and I don't sing. Hopefully Jerry will get here soon and he can do some stories too. Anybody have anything they want to put in? No? Okay. Kind of as we go along, feel free. Just we'll pass the talking stick around. I heard, well, we'll go with this one because it's a good upbeat piece. There's the white buffalo calf. Probably a lot of you know this, but one of the big indicators that the new earth was coming is that white buffalo calves would come, and they've been coming for the last few years. This year it's a little different. So apparently there's a new calf just recently, what do they call that? Calved, born, and up in the Dakotas with winter coming, which is the opposite of the norm, kind of like everything else that's happening right now. So they actually called in. Okay, I had it there. BLM land. And they actually called in the elders to come and work with the calf. So I guess they're not sure if they're going to leave the calf there or take the calf somewhere else during the cold season. But that's the earliest one I've ever heard of. So that's really good to hear. The animals are definitely moving around. And that's another one of the indicators of big change when the animals start to move. There's sea life in Europe, some of the whales and porpoises, and I think they said sea lions. I can't remember. We're starting to move down from the North Country, northern Norway, and up in the really cold regions, and moving down towards the Great Britain, Scotland mostly, and into the lakes. I'm not sure what that means, but that looks like an early, not a usual migration. And apparently there's some going on in the west here as well. So all these things are starting to tell us, okay, it's time. Let's wash our hands, roll up our sleeves, and begin to do the work. Oops. Okay. Okay. So Tom's bringing up the salmon people on the Klamath River. That's where they took the dams down, and they've given the management of the Klamath River back to the indigenous tribes there. And now it looks like more than 3 times the number of salmon that they've seen in 25 years. So a lot of positive things coming with the animals. I think it's really important too to with everything negative we're hearing, to make sure we focus in on positive things. Put energy into those. Yeah, we can get scared or confused by all this negative stuff, and all that does is feed it. If we do things like this and share the positive things, we're building the positive energy. We're building that energy of love and light, and that's definitely what we want to see, what we want to build, because this is the time of the fifth Earth when we're told we have to do it right this time. In the past, each of the Earths has been run, controlled, whatever word you want to use, by either the men or the women, and it's gone back and forth. Right now, pretty obvious, it's the men making a hell of a mess. This time, we're told it has to be together equally. It's one of the biggest pieces of the prophecies, and I'm starting to see it. I don't know about anyone else, if anyone wants to comment, but groups I'm in now, there for a while, the men were absent again because they got scared.
Mhm.
And I get it. I can understand that too. What we've got is, the women are stepping back up into their energy. The men have to tone theirs down.
Mhm.
And it's actually hard on both without getting in a dark place, without getting angry, without pointing fingers. And I'm starting to see that now big time in the groups I'm in.
Mhm.
Some of those groups I'm in with Jerry. Jerry, black-tailed deer, wandering somewhere around Oregon, who only knows, who may show up at some point. That Jerry. Um, yeah, so I'm curious. Are you guys seeing anything like that in the
Um,
type?
I can take this one. So yeah, I've
Oh,
definitely seen, um, yeah, even just the things with nature and stuff. I mean, it's our constant companion. I think we've become disconnected from that. So I think the fact that people are
mm,
getting back to remembering that connection, it's always speaking to us. It's this living, growing organism, like almost like this full functioning thing that's a kind of a mirror for us. And what you've mentioned about the things coming back into balance. Okay, so like
hmm
it's been lopsided throughout history. It's been really far one way, really far the other way.
hmm
Okay, well the answer's somewhere in the middle, and I see this not only collectively but also like in individual people. They're becoming more balanced in their energies. Like the time of being like really extreme one way or really rigid one way or really
hmm
masculine the other way, or and even in people that are like, you can have a female that's super masculine, and it is bringing those back into
hmm
balance, and that can be unpleasant. It can be bumpy, especially when you start shaking stuff up, and it starts like rocking the old systems. But the old way is not working, and it's becoming more and more apparent that something needs to change. And I think now more than ever, that's becoming obvious. Not everyone's there yet. Some people are still clinging to the old way, and I think things are probably going to get bumpier before they get better, but there's also the light at the end of that. Like you do see more like males coming into support roles in females that are, working in their capacity. And that's really where we're going to see the big shifts, I feel, is when those can, hey, let's play together, let's bring this back into balance. And I think what we're seeing in nature is even reflecting that. Everything's like coming back into balance how it used to be. I mean, we jolted it way out of alignment. Well, it's like, you can't keep going like this. And it's kind of auto correcting and bringing us back into that like kind of homeostasis, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. I hope that's accurate. I'm sensing some of that for sure. Nature is guiding us. We have to listen to the animals more because they know how this works. The fish are moving a certain way. The last year, the animals were moving around in Yellowstone, moving south. So if we pay attention, we can learn some of that. And I think it's not even learned. Most of it's relearned. We did know
Mm.
this. We knew all this. It was, how we lived every day. All our people, because we were all indigenous at some point. So yeah, I hope you're right. It's anybody else before I pull in Pine Ridge again? Okay.
One thing
Yeah.
I wanted to add around that too is I see like, how there's like the separation between male and female. I also see like separation across like cultures and stuff. Like the fact that we're able to do this today and bring in different teachings from around the world and just have this open type discussion, that wouldn't have happened years ago. So I think we're also
Yeah.
seeing that like the people that are ready, it doesn't matter what background you're from, what color you are, what age you are, like
hmm
all those things just kind of fall away if your heart's in the right place and you like share the vision, I think. So that's also really beautiful to see.
Yeah, from experience, I can vouch for some of that. When I first got on this road a lot of years ago, God, about 40 years ago, um, there was not a lot of that sharing together. I was pretty much not appreciated in a lot of circles. Now my teachers brought me in and they said, "No, you're here because you're here with me." And that was okay, but I was never comfortable. I learned what it was to be a minority, that's for sure. And I don't see as much of that now. It still exists, in all the white, red, black, yellow, in all of them that exist. And we're seeing come to the surface some of the real racism, prejudice, hatred that's there. And that is not a negative thing. That's actually a positive thing. Because when we can see it, we can start to heal it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching people have fun. In the last rally, No More Kings, I'm sure everyone saw it, but the costumes that were being used, the frogs, all the different animals, the crocodiles, they were poking fun of that hatred, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing. It's kind of why we're doing this show tonight. Okay, Tom, I got you. What do you need? uh, oops. Okay, there was a couple other people from my tribe who were supposed to be here, but they can't. They're on the road and they're having car trouble. Okay. My tribe is matriarchal. And mine's back east, United Western Lenape. So ours is led by women. It's a little different than you'll find like up here in Pine Ridge. Tom's talking about how they're um, masculine-led tribe. So we do have both. I think the trick is, and that's what he's talking about, is to have it flow. So even in the masculine-led tribes, the men come together and have their big councils and they decide to, here's what we should do about this, this, and this. But then it doesn't happen until it goes to the women. And the women are the ones who have to decide, oh, yeah, yes, we're going to do that, or nope, not going to do that. And it can get quite funny at times. I've seen some interesting discussions in the lodges. Um, so, yeah, he's saying they're seeing it even in their own populations. So that's a good thing. That's positive. And the young people were talking about, okay, some of the groups who are attracting the hatred and the attacks are the groups that are different. And a lot of them are young. The trans community they're talking about in particular here, but others as well. So for them, it's really important to be who they are, to stand up who they are, not to back down, but also not to get angry.
Mm-hmm.
Never fight back. Yeah, okay, that's a big one. As soon as you fight back, we become like them, and we never want to do that. I know because I have been around a little while. So when when Vietnam started, we had the draft, and most of us, and it was men only, most of us were not happy with Vietnam because we saw exactly what it was. It was just for resources. Anyway, when they picked numbers, mine was picked third. Uh, and I was supposed to be getting married in 2 weeks. So that was a really interesting time for a lot of people. And it started some of the changes, but not always in a good way because we hated back. And so people like me joined the resistance and started fighting against the war and helping other people get out of the draft. Um, Others went because they thought that's what they had to do. I remember that a lot. Uh, the problem with that was, with the whole thing, we didn't learn anything. We were in the same anger as everybody else. And so when Woodstock hit, that shifted things. Woodstock opened a lot of doors in so many ways. It'll probably never happen again like that, but it was really, really powerful and fun. And a little bit overboard at times, but not as much as you read about. That wasn't the case. Mostly it was people who wanted to have fun, who were enjoying themselves, who were there just for that reason. And to hear all the bands, of course, which we definitely will never hear again because no one could ever afford to get that number of the top bands in the world in one place. Then we shifted to Dr. King, and his whole thing was the opposite. It was peaceful, peaceful marches, even if they beat on us, even if they pulled us out of the lines. And as I look back, which was more successful? The things that we fought back and were angry, or the things where we walked in peace? Pretty obvious. We still have a lot of wars, and we've come a long way in race relations, not where we need to be, especially right now as things are seem to be trying to run backwards. But yeah, and that just changed a lot. So I'm trying to think of a story that would work with that. Hmm. It's been an intense day for me too, dealing with my own family and animals. Okay, we're hearing back from Pine Ridge again. All right, so Tom's saying we should share the story of White Buffalo Calf Woman because it's I think he means relevant again.
Mm.
Okay, so White Buffalo Calf Woman. White Buffalo Calf Woman, the story is actually claimed by several tribes. Of course, my teachers were Lakota, so the Sioux claimed it from my end. Um, and the story goes like this. Um, there were two braves out hunting, and it had been a long season with bad weather. Um, it was hard to hunt. The number of animals was down, so they were going much further than they usually did. And these two braves came up over a hill, and they looked, and down below, they weren't sure what they saw. Was it a person? Was it an animal? But as they got a little closer, it was a beautiful woman in a white dress, pure white dress, a native woman, young, in a white dress. And they started to approach her, very confused. And they're looking at her, and the first brave goes, "Oh, wow. Young, beautiful woman out here in the middle of nowhere. Maybe I can have a little fun here." So he starts approaching her in not with good intentions. And she turns and holds up her hand that had a pipe in it, which turned out to be later the Chanupa, the sacred pipe. And he was turned to salt and fell on the ground. So the second brave is watching and stops right away. And I guess I'm not going to go that way. And he said, okay, what can I do? I'm not going to attack him. And she goes, okay, I want you to go back to your tribe and tell them I am coming and I will be there tomorrow. And I'm bringing teachings and I'm bringing stories. And we will sit together for a number of days and I will share these things. But it has to be everybody in the tribe. No one is to be left out. So go now and tell them that. So he turned around and I'm sure was very happy to be out of there and just took off back to his tribe. Which again, by my teachers, hey, people up there in Pine Ridge, was the Lakota in Pine Ridge. So I don't know if that's true, guys, but if you hear me, oh, I'm getting thumbs up on the phone. Okay. So he goes back and he tells the tribal chiefs there's a woman going to be coming, she says, and she's going to share knowledge with us. And we are to have feast ready And what should we do? And so the chiefs had council, and then talked to the women, and they decided, okay, we better be ready, especially after the brave told them what happened to the first brave with bad intentions. And so they put it all together, and sure enough, the next day, again, they saw like this shimmering on the hill as this being was coming down. And as it got closer, they could see it was the woman in the white dress once again, still carrying this thing in her hand, which they didn't know what it was yet. So as she came closer, she said, I bring to you 7 ceremonies that you can do for the people that will make the hunting go better, that will make the children grow strong and disease go away. And they're to be practiced all the time, and they're to be kept in a sacred way, and not to be shared with anyone else until the time of the big change. And they said, okay. And so the first ceremony was the chanupa, the sacred pipe that she held. And she talked about the pipe and how the pipe is to be opened. And then as you smoke the pipe, the smoke goes up, and that's the prayers of the people going to Creator. And she gave them the chanupa. Second one was the inipi, the sweat lodge. And she talked about the sweat lodge, the womb of the earth mother, and how we go into the sweat lodge to clear, to purify ourselves, to leave behind things that are troubling us that we don't want to carry. And yeah, that was good on that. So she shared that. And then it went on, the Imblecha, the vision quest, the naming ceremony. There was one thing that was a game that they no longer play, and I do not remember the name of it, but it always strikes me as interesting. How did that get in there? But it did, and I guess it was important for them to have some fun things in those times as well. And then as she was done with that, they started to have the feast and they ate. And she guided them in how to use these various things. The chanupa, they opened the pipe. And she talked about who she thought should carry the pipes and also the sacred bundles, which was another one. And after a couple days of ceremonies and feasting, she said, okay, now I'm going to leave. And it's for you, it's for the Lakota to keep these things safe, to keep them so when the time comes, they will be there, ready to be shared with everybody. And as she started to walk away, she shook herself, and suddenly there was a black buffalo standing there. Took a few steps, turned around, shook again, and there was a red buffalo standing there. A few more steps, shook, and a yellow buffalo stood there. And then finally, a few more steps, she shook, and the huge white buffalo stood there. And one of the things she had told about was when the time of change was close, the white buffalo would come, like we talked about in the beginning of the show. And so she stood a bit as the white buffalo and then started walking off up over the hill. And as she did that, she did turn back again into the woman and back over the hill. So that's the story of White Buffalo Calf Woman. And she's one, since she brought all the ceremonies, well, all the ones that the Lakota hold sacred. Um, she is respected. She is prayed to. Often we do a sweat lodge. We bring in, where we ask in White Buffalo Calf Woman, especially the women. A lot of the women connect with White Buffalo Calf Woman. Um, so that's that story. Any thoughts on that? Tom, tell me if I left anything out. And he says, no, that's good. This is a good, positive story. Okay, good. Do you, Tom, do any of you there, any of you thinking of any funny stories? I'm not. Maybe because I've been dealing with some heavy stuff in the last week. Think about that, guys, and get back to me. Yeah, okay. Ooh, White Buffalo Calf Woman. What do you think?
I thought it was great. Was there any significance to the different colors? Changing other than
Yep.
like I picture the color of the medicine wheel or the different directions and stuff like that. But
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So
okay.
that is the four colors of the medicine wheel: white, red, black, yellow, and it can represent many things. It can represent the four colors of people: white, red, black, yellow. Any other color like brown is a mix of some colors. Those are the four primaries. And they don't, in the medicine wheel, it doesn't really mean Caucasian or anything else. It means white, literally. So it's
Mhm.
white, red, black, and yellow. So those are the colors that the buffalo turned into because it was doing the whole medicine wheel as it turned to walk away.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a good one. It can also be, it can be the four seasons. It can be your four stages of life. It could be four stages of any part of your life that you're experiencing as you go around that wheel, round to round to round. Yeah, good question. That's a good one. What else did she bring into that?
I really love that you brought up the thing about the game. It's like I've been finding that kind of
Yeah.
collectively too. People
Okay.
forgot how to play, they forgot how to have
Uh-huh.
fun, they
Yep.
like lost what brings them joy, and it doesn't happen overnight. It just gets stripped away slowly, slowly, and then they're like, "Why do I feel like crap?" It's like, yeah, because you've given up like everything that fills your soul,
Yeah.
for these other things that you're supposed to do or that you should have, and it's like people are remembering like what excited them when they were four. Like it's
Yeah.
not complicated. It's like, okay, you knew back then.
Yep.
It's not how life happens that we pack on all this stuff that pulls us away from that. So I
Yeah.
think a big part of what I see with people, at least, and you can be 90. It's getting back to like what brought you joy? What had you, or when did you have
Yep.
fun last?
Yeah. And that's another. Okay. There's another story about this young man, young brave, who was very depressed, didn't feel fulfilled. He was angry all the time. Nothing seemed to go right. And he went to the medicine person and said, hey, uncle, what's going on? No matter what I try, it doesn't work. And I'm angry all the time. And I'm sad all the time. And I'm depressed. And I don't know what to do about it, but I don't want to live this way. And the elder asked him, well, what is your day like? Tell me. And so he said, well, I get up early. There's a lot of work. Um, and then I go home and I do my chores at my lodge. And then we have to do whatever is needed to fix the meat if we've captured game. He said, it's a long day, but it feels good. And the elder goes, okay. Hmm. And then what do you do the next day? He said, well, it's pretty much, same thing again. We get up early, we do a little ceremony, we give thanks to any animals that we might catch that would become food for us. But we go out, we hunt, we capture whatever we can, we bring it back. The women have been doing the chores around the camp, but then we do what we need to, and then we prepare whatever we caught after dinner, and then we go to bed again. Hmm. And what do you do the third day? Well, now the Brave's getting angry. What's this? What's he going to do? Keep asking me day after day? Every day is pretty much the same. And that's what he tells him. He said, every day is pretty much the same. How many times do I have to? And he goes, yes, every day is pretty much the same. So tell me, when did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? And when did you stop dreaming? And so that's a really important piece. And I remember when I first got on this road, I mean, I took things so seriously. I didn't even know I had red blood at that point. I thought I was all white because that's what my family insisted. And I mean, I went at it 100%, but I never stopped to have fun. And it comes upon you quickly. You're right. You said something about that. and you guys are young yet, and people younger than you even suddenly they realize, whoa, I didn't have any fun.
Mm.
And so it's really, really important. I know for me personally, when I was, what was I by then? Late 20s, I guess, early to late 20s. Um, and I was married. We had one daughter. Yeah. And she was going through school. She got through high school. And we would play a little bit, but I had businesses. So I was there all the time,
Mm.
working in my businesses. Because after all, our only value is how much money we make. That's that's what Western society tells us. And that's how I was brought up. Because again, I thought I was just pure Italian. Um, when my daughter was ready to graduate high school, we started doing the college tour, going to the different colleges, because she didn't know for sure where she wanted to go. And we lived on the East Coast at that point. I hadn't escaped yet to get west. And she was looking at some colleges in the West, and that was really stressing my wife. She's going like, but you're going to be far away, and we won't get to see you maybe a couple times a year. Dun, dun, dun. And then I said to her, yeah, you should really think about that. Why do you need to go there? There's great colleges back here too. And I remember her turning to me and saying, hey, Dad, what difference does it make? You missed my whole high school. You were never there. You'll miss college too.
Mm.
Woo, yeah. And so for me, that was a good kick to get back to having some fun. And I did. And she ended up actually being at a Eastern college. So we could go and participate in things, but we did it in a whole different way, whole different attitude. And if we learn by those things, it's great. Sometimes it takes longer than we wish because, again, humans are not the fastest learners. Um, if we were, we wouldn't be in this mess we are with some things. So, yeah, that's just what I'm thinking about that piece. See what, whoops.
Yeah, Jim, I know you haven't met me.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Brett. I'm Nicole's husband. Um, but
I,
yeah, I was listening to the story. I grabbed the phone. I'm like, man, that's some good medicine in that story right there. You gotta have that fun. And I come across it
yeah.
a lot, especially with owning a business and
Oh,
stuff like
yeah.
that. I've
Yep.
had to schedule fun.
Yep. So you get it if you own a business, and I owned a lot of them back then with a partner. And so we were always, yeah. And you think you're doing the right thing because after all, you're providing for your family.
Right.
You're buying things they need,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not all we need.
Right. That's that commercialism that hypnotizes us, and
Yep.
we gotta have that
Abs.
cool thing. We gotta have the next best thing to the Robinsons.
Yeah. They do a great job, selling us that stuff. They really do. Making
Yeah,
us making us think we really do need. Well, we have the little purple button, but oh man, we don't have the red one. We gotta go get a red one.
yeah,
So we got to save more money to go get a red button because pretty soon the yellow button's going to come out. And, oh, we're going to have a yellow button. And that's kind of how we've gone. And it's partly why we're in the state we are.
right,
So nights like this, we just sit back and say, oh, why are we here? What are we learning? I really really helps.
for sure. Sharing stories and stuff like that too. That's amazing medicine with sitting around groups like this.
Hmm.
Because especially my kids haven't gone off to college or anything like that, but I do see that similarity in my story too. I'm changing it with my daughter now. She's 9. We do a lot more stuff with her versus we do a lot of
Hmm.
stuff with the boys too, but my main focus. I realized this yesterday when I was driving with my son Simon. A lot of the stories he told me were, "Hey, remember when we were at the shop and we were upstairs doing this?" And I'm like, oh yeah, you're upstairs doing that because I was downstairs working. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't
Hmm.
there. I was there, but I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that definitely kind of hit home a little bit. So thank you for that story.
Yeah. No, it's, the things we go through make strong stories, powerful
Yeah.
stories, because they're real. Okay, we can back them up. Oh yeah, I went through that.
Hmm.
And yeah, there's a lot of them like that. And some of them are fun or funny, and some not so much.
Right.
I I was glad with my daughter that that came up because it really, really shifted how we connected when she was in college. And
Hmm.
so the whole interaction was completely different,
Right.
um, except when she needed money to do something, but that never changes. So some things don't change.
Right.
But yeah,
I
and
think there is like a collective shift in even that like materialism. I think people are finding that stuff is just weighing them down, and maybe they don't need gold spinning rims on a jet ski. Like it's
yeah,
all that
yeah,
stuff really bogs them down. They're like, why do I feel so weighted down? It's like because your house is full of crap with stuff you don't even use. Like,
Right.
for some people, they didn't even take stuff out of the boxes. They would
yep,
just order stuff and like you never even opened it. And I'm like, what? And
yep.
it's all that like yeah subconscious programming we come into, and it's like I think people
Mm.
are like, hey, this isn't working anymore, just like we talked about with the other systems of things. And it's like getting back to what's important. It's,
Right.
it's almost like a necessary push to make us like make it really obvious, like yeah, this is
Yeah,
this is ridiculous, what are we even doing here. And,
yep.
Right.
That
Right.
is what it is. It's like an extra push, yeah,
Mhm.
or a kick,
Yeah. A kick.
or a good
Usually
swift
ends
kick.
up being a kick for me.
Yeah, me too. And
Never a
and you're
gentle
you're
push.
too busy, so you don't feel it, so you could have to get kicked again.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually happens at least 3 times before I pay attention.
Oh, oh, you're a hard case.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. I'm learning though. I'm learning.
That's good. That's really really good. It's a yeah. Okay, so I remember another time, another story, and I forgot what I was going to go with that. Oh yeah, I know. So I had some friends who moved around a lot. They were military, and but they had a fair number of possessions. And so Matt, what you were saying, brought it up. They had half of their stuff had never been unpackaged, and they're like on their third house, and still hadn't been unpackaged. And so I'm kidding around with them, and I'm going, well, look at all this stuff. This is really great. You have enough wedding gifts to last you till you're 90. Just wrap these things up because obviously you don't need them. And um, so then the next time they came to my place, I've also been creators move me around often. Let's see. Oops, there comes Sarah. Um, I had all this stuff, and I had just moved back. Yeah, I moved back from California. I was in Northern California for a couple of years running a land trust and hauled all my stuff out there. Well, they did, the company. And then coming back, hauled it all back here. And they're like, what are you talking about? Look at all this stuff you have. And mine had been unpacked, but I'm still hauling stuff around that I hadn't used in years.
Yeah.
And I'm hauling it like across country. So I have this huge moving van instead of a moderate sized one. And that was when I started doing a giveaway. Yeah. And okay, who needs any of this stuff? And yeah, and that was just, oh man, I would just laugh at myself. Yeah, I'm chastising them. And we do that so often. We're pointing the finger out because it's something that
Oh
we're
yeah,
all,
we see that mirror.
yep,
You know.
exactly. The mirror. Yeah. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. Yeah, the mirror for sure. And hmm, no, that's a good one. Okay, so even the group up in Pine Ridge can't remember the name of the game, but it was a stickball type game. Okay. So it was kind of like an early hockey, I guess. They
Or
had,
lacrosse?
huh?
Was it lacrosse?
Like that. Yeah. They had their own name for it, but I can't remember. But it was very similar, yes. And so they had to move the thing up and down the open area of their tribal headquarters. Yeah. And they don't even know how they kept score because there were no goals per se.
You want to make my food up? Mm-hmm. Oh,
Huh.
thank you.
So that's okay. So yeah, I guess the big takeaway there is that a game was one of the sacred ceremonies. That in itself is pretty telling.
I remember, so one of our
Yeah.
teachers up here,
Hmm.
they said when someone would get sick in a house, they would invite like the funniest person over,
Yeah.
like the funniest person, because laughter raises the spirits, right? Raises the vibration. So then laughter is medicine and would heal, maybe not even the person who was sick if they couldn't laugh, but all the people around, because it raises the whole collective energy, right? And then so sometimes that wards off the sickness and helps everybody else too that are caretaking. But then not only that is like a breath coach, like I do a lot with the breath,
Hmm.
laughing helps oxygenate the system because when you're laughing, you're actually like inhaling and exhaling more. So it's actually like really good to laugh. So on like so many levels. But I just thought it was like that laughing is just really like a levity, right? And like levitate, like you're floating. And I think
Yep.
that's like a really important piece to remember when things get heavy.
Mhm. Yeah, you're right. Laughter is great medicine. Some of the best medicine. Yes. Um, that in part was so you had clowns in many tribal communities, and you had the Heyokas who did everything backwards, which would drive people nuts, but would make them look at themselves and laugh at themselves. Because I mean, the Heyoka would literally back then walk backwards, talk backwards, do things backwards, ask people to do things backwards, which would make people angry. But then, as they would look at themselves, they would just start laughing. So those
Yeah.
those things, yeah,
I heard
absolutely,
that they would ride horses backwards, but like they would call
yeah,
them like the coyote. Like they would be the trickster, but then
yep,
those would be the ones that they would call in for all of the jokes.
yeah, yeah. They did. The coyote, of course, is the trickster, and so was the Heyoka. He was the human coyote, I guess. And, and we still, that's kind of I think that's kind of the basis of our comedians, turned into comedians in the broader culture.
Mm,
They're the ones that poke fun. You're still doing it, and and some people don't like it because they're too thin-skinned.
mm,
Iokas they could be really rough. I mean, they could be merciless, and just boom, they would just go at you because it was to make you see, all right, here's something I got to work on. Just like I think as a culture now, there's so many things we have to work on. We keep poking the bear, so we see, okay, here's what we do. We don't want to do this anymore. Why do I hate that person? They're just like me, even if they look a little different. Or why am I doing this to the environment? I want it there for my kids. I want them to be able to go out and see the insects and the animals and the trees that I did. So it's definitely it's a learning tool. It can be fun and funny, but it can also be an intense learning tool. That's a really good one. Yeah, Whitney, thanks. That's a really good contribution.
mm.
Who wants a talking stick? Somebody does. Do 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 do. Ooh, hmm.
Well, I going back to the woman in the white buffalo story, I like how in the beginning of the story it really starts off with um it's kind of a story of layers. Like the first thing
Mm,
is, you have to have good intention. And I think that's one of the first things we learn when we start letting go of
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, when you start letting go of just everything that we've been taught, that's just all
Hmm.
fallacies and misdirection and misguidance. And the first thing that we, in order to break through those barriers, is, what is my intention with this? And, the first gentleman didn't have the greatest of intentions, and that was a quick no thank you for her. And I
Yeah.
think that's the lesson right there of discernment, is it's that, when you can be that grounded within
Hmm.
yourself and that connected to spirit and that connected to nature, your discernment should be that quick. No, no, thank you. And or yes, please, more knowledge, so that's where we meet a lot of folks along our path. And that's, takes me back to the beginning of when I kind of had to do that self-reflection. I think that's
Yeah.
just the beautiful part of that story, is if you don't understand that level of discernment, that's where you got to begin.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what all these stories do. Whether they're serious stories or funny stories. Yeah, that's a really good point, Nicole. Absolutely. Um, they wanted it's to help us grow. And we can't always grow without a little bit of pain. What's a snake do? It sheds its skin so it can be bigger. In effect, that's what we're doing. And again, we're seeing it now. I mean, I'm seeing people change that I've known for years, and some in a way where I want to know them better than I did. Some in a way where, ooh, it's been great, but ta-ta, bye. And some just need time to sit there and understand what's going on, because it's not an easy process, and that's where fun and stories and games. Yeah, I mean, these stories all have a reason for sure. It's why they exist. It's why they keep getting shared. And it's why we add to it. Um, by adding our own personal stories, we're adding new information, new ways to help heal. Yeah. Yeah, it's great, Nicole. Thank you. Anyone else have a personal story they want to toss up so we can laugh at you? No, I mean, so we can learn from it.
I think just
Oops.
not personal so much, but like going back to the story
Yeah.
of, the village trusted, so how hard it would have been so
Yes.
easy for them to be like, no, you don't know what you're talking about, and not, you know, have a feast ready and not listen. But it's
Hmm.
like there was this trust where like, oh my gosh, we trust that this is going to happen. We'll
Hmm.
prepare all of this. And then when she comes to listen to her and to take in that, and it's like, I feel like sometimes we're missing that trust, like, yes, this will happen, and to believe in it, as opposed to, just
Hmm.
always like the naysaying, like,
Yeah.
because if they wouldn't have prepared the feast, if they wouldn't have welcomed her, then everything would have been totally different, right? And so it's like it comes back to choice and that belief, and like, okay, yes, I trust this process. And sometimes it's like we try to force it, or we just blow it off completely. And it's
Hmm.
like, how many opportunities do we miss when we try to, like, think it's
Hmm.
going to turn out a certain way, as opposed to just letting it unfold. So it's like I always look to like the villagers, or the like tribe that was like, so, oh my gosh, yes, we will do this. And their belief was so unwavering. And I think that's where I try to be like, yeah, I will believe it, and be open to the possibilities.
Hmm. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And we're in that position right now. Trust is critical. Belief is also critical. We have to know we can do this. The actually in the um, prophecies, I'm sorry, it's been a long day. In the prophecies, we're told we've actually already accomplished it. We've gotten through this time of change and we're building the new earth. However, the warning is if we don't do the work, then we don't get there. Even though we've seen that we're there, we could miss it by not um, shoveling the stuff out of the stalls or whatever.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, that's good, Whitney. Yeah. Um, and why did they believe it? You know, why did they get everything ready? Because one brave told them that was the case. Um, because the one brave was killed? I don't know, maybe. Um, or was there another reason? Yeah, this is really good. This is really good. Someday we may see black-tailed deer show up. I don't know where he is. I think he's floating between the sky and the land. Oh, Jerry, welcome, brother.
Hi, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
Is he frozen? I think he is. Uh-oh. Whoops. Yeah, he's out in the middle of nowhere in Oregon. Hmm. All right. Hopefully we'll be able to get back in. Yeah, I've thought about that one in the past too. My teacher, Two Bear's wife, Linda, um, who was an amazing woman. She was just, I loved her to death. She was great. Um, she was like 20 years younger than Two Bears. So she was more my age. But she always led discussions like that, especially around the females who were leaders. And that's what one of the things she had brought up too. Why did the tribe do that? Why did they know? Or did they know? Or did they just trust that something good needed to happen? And it's a tough one. I mean, it was supposedly a time they couldn't catch any game. The weather was horrible. They didn't have enough firewood, on and on and on. And so they needed um, something good to happen. So was the trust generated because they were in such desperate shape that they needed something good, or was it generated because they honestly felt something good was coming?
Mm.
It's a tough one, but yeah. Jerry knows, I can tell. Give us the answer, oh sage one. Uh-oh, it looks like he froze again. Dang.
Must be cold there.
It must be. Did I say earlier in the show, I'm really glad I'm in Arizona right now? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
a couple of times, yeah.
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
There you go. Yeah.
Hey.
Yay.
Well, yeah.
Hey there.
Yeah, you kept freezing, but now you're mobile again.
All right, that's good. So, I heard you talking about prophecy.
Yep.
You said, "What's the answer?" I don't know what the question was.
Ah, so it was a really good question.
Cool. Was it multiple choice? I'm good at that.
It was. Yep. It was one of those A is true, B is false, and C is all the above. Yeah. I used to just pick all of them, all the above.
Always go with D, all of the above.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because you figured you're going to be right half the time anyway.
Yeah.
We're talking about belief, and we were talking about some of the stories, and we've been sharing some personal stories and some of the. So anyway, I shared the white buffalo calf woman story. Tom and the people said they thought it was a good idea to share it now. So the question came up. Whitney, it was yours, wasn't it? You're the one that brought this up. You want to?
Mm.
Yeah, I just really kind of try to put myself in the shoes of the tribe that was trusting. They were in famine, they didn't have enough food, but yet the brave came and said, "We need to have a feast prepared. We need to get ready. We need to welcome this woman who's going to be coming." And they just did it. They trusted and they believed, and then when she showed up, they got these gifts. And I'm just like, wow, I want to be, that kind of hold that reverence and be like, yes, like I believe, and not be a naysayer or not just push it aside and be like, that's not going to happen. That's malarkey. And yeah, so I'm always like the villagers. We're really strong.
So the question in part, Jerry, was why did they believe? So again, it looks like we have Jerry frozen black-tailed deer. It's just kind of comical, and it's. I think
He's
he's.
deep in thought. It's part of the
Yep,
process.
yep.
The levity of
They're
it
gonna
all.
they're gonna think it's a joke. Ha ha ha. Oh, that's funny.
But you think about that in current times, someone comes and
Yeah.
like it's so easy to dismiss someone that, like that would be coming with that information. Obviously it might look different in this time, but it's like how often are we behind someone in our community that needs our help or that needs,
Yeah.
like bigger picture here. So
Yeah. You're right. I'm just pulling up because. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm curious. Yeah, I mentioned it's my birthday today. So I'm getting, wow, it's past hundreds. I'm getting thousands of birthday greetings now, which makes me uncomfortable.
Mm.
It really does. Makes me uncomfortable. It should not. Um, because when I see people that I do things with, I say happy birthday. But why? Okay, why is that? I'm nothing special. I know some stories. I've lived long enough to screw up enough times. I have things to share. But right now, yeah, I mean, we need to be able to share those things amongst ourselves. And I think that's what I'm getting out of it. Even though I'm going through some difficult things myself right now, we're there for somebody else, and we can all do that. And I know a lot of people, not many of them are here tonight, but some who are in this circle are going through really hard times. And yet they're here for others as well. Oh, before, okay, from the, okay, so this he was writing before we brought that up. And he's saying, even when times are hard on us, it's really important to be there for others. Make them laugh, make them cry, hold them, care about them. And yeah, I mean, I really think that is part of it because that also heals us. And I'm getting a lot of people come to me now. I mean, so many more than I've ever had, even when we were doing Standing Rock and some of the other things. Um, it's just, this is so extraordinary. They don't know what to do. So there's no one answer, unless, of course, black-tailed deer comes in with the answer right now. And here's Jerry. Oh, or not. Yep, it is. You gonna try again? Oh, wow. He's stripping for action now. Watch out. We can't hear you now.
he's on mute.
Yep. Hey,
Not anymore.
Hayoka.
I'm not.
There you go.
Hey.
So you were talking about the trust that they had to just do
Yes.
things, right?
Uh-huh.
So that is actually one of the things that has been lost. And
Yep.
the first place to restore that is trust in self, but not the trust of our mind, not the trust of our analytical abilities, not the trust of our ability to do anything with the mind. We first must trust our spirit
Mm-hmm.
and the guidance of our spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way those ancestors lived. And they trusted that connection to all that is because they were in touch with their spirit. So that's what we need to get back to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, I'm looking at the people here. I'm not telling anybody anything that they don't know, but I'm also talking to the kids and all the people in Pine Ridge.
And all the people who play this later, absolutely. And I always
Yes.
say that at the beginning. It's important. That's right. Some of the stories we shared earlier, probably most people here already knew them, but they were important to share.
Yes.
And then you came on, Jerry, to demonstrate coyote medicine. We appreciate that.
Well, I've been having to deal with that all day today.
Yeah, you and me both. Yeah, it's an interesting times.
Well, and not
Yeah,
because it's dealing with me, but the people that I care about are being hit hard with this influx of energy from the solar storms.
yep,
What and that's not the problem. The problem is all the things that we're holding on to that we need to let go of.
yeah.
That's the problem.
Well,
All the things that don't serve us that we don't want to let go of. And it's tearing people apart, and they're coming to me like, help. And I'm like, don't, I can't help you.
no.
You have to let go of these things. And I can give you pointers of what you need to do, what you need to let
Mhm.
go of. I can point all that out, but I'm not the one that does the work.
No, that's good. Thank you. So you were listening to the show. Yeah, we brought that in the beginning too. Right now, there's things we can do for people. There's things we can do in circle, but the part you're talking about, we each have to do, or not.
Yeah.
It's absolutely our choice, and it's hard, and it's why people are rushing at us and asking all kinds of questions. And if we only had all the answers, it would make things easy, but we don't. Nobody does.
No. There's only one place you can look for the answer,
Yep.
and that's within.
Oh, I thought you were going to say in a kumquat. Okay. Within
The sacred kumquat.
it's sacred kumquat. Yes.
That's the story that's going to help everybody, Jim. And what we're doing now, everyone, is laughing.
Yes.
Not take ourselves
Mhm.
too seriously, not take anything personal, because every single one of us are going through and being faced with those things we need to let go of and move forward with. So there's going to be fear, there's going to be anxiety, there's going to be anger, just because not knowing how to cope. And anger, we've been taught in this society, is the quickest emotion to deal with. It's the safest because we don't have to look at anything. We just have to lash out. So you're gonna feel it, and you're also going to be faced with people in your life that are going to lash out at you for
Mhm.
no reason. You're not going to understand it. It's not about understanding. It's about just seeing them and knowing that they're going through the same thing you're going through, and approaching every situation with that compassion, that
Mhm.
empathy, and that love. And also love yourself. Love yourself to not be so hard on yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, we yes. I I shared the meaning in the story and the use of worry basket in the beginning. And
Yeah.
this is a good time to use that, just even in everyday life. Because what happens is fear starts to generate. When you don't understand something, you fear it. That's a basic human response. And then when you fear something, what happens? You lash out, you begin to hate it. You
To
think
the
you're
dark
more,
side that leads.
you think you're more than, yeah,
Mhm.
all those things. But if we stay open, things do happen. I was going through a rough day yesterday, and a person showed up who's followed me for years and years. Um, and I've seen her now and again, but she stays very hidden. That's her choice, which is, that's fine. But she had such great stories that helped me get through yesterday. She knew um, oh, Lucas, Star Wars. She knows him
George.
George Lucas. Thank you. So she knows him personally. She knows others. So telling the stories, and because we kid around, often we'll use Yoda, and one of his sayings as a point, like, there is no
Do.
try. Yeah, we either do or we don't do. There is no try. Well, it turns out, according to her, firsthand from him, all those sayings were his. Those are things he said and he believed, and he decided then he had to give them to his characters that were created. And that was just like, wow, that is really cool. What can I make out of that? And so I started playing with some of my own sayings, but I don't think any characters want mine. Anyway,
What what are the people in Pine Ridge saying?
yep, I should check again. Thank you. I haven't checked for a few minutes. We've got 6 young people under the age of 22. We have 14 people total. Grandmother Jan's still there. She's leaving in a couple days. So that's who we kind of have here.
And young ones, I understand. We're talking about some things that, it's hard to grasp. You know, just let go. What does that mean? Let go. I understand. You're like, what are they talking about? Some of these terms you're like, I don't understand.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because at that age, they do not have as much to let go of.
Hmm.
We start to accumulate stuff over time. And I'm getting old enough now. I mean, it's a good thing I've been letting some stuff go along the way, and I have to let go again. Yeah, that's a really good point. But when you're young, if you learn to do that, oh boy, does that make things, oh man, it's magic. Do not pay any attention to the little man behind the curtain. He's moving around in a building up there. So now he's appeared elsewhere. That's pretty funny. Uh,
So we've
My
got some
daughter
wonderful.
hears us talk about, our spirit guides, and she
uh-huh.
hears us talk about use this language just in our everyday conversation. And she's 9, and
Good.
one day she said to me, "Mom, I don't hear my spirit guides like you and Dad do." And I said, "Oh, you don't?" And she said, "No, I don't hear them like you guys do." And I thought about it for a second, and I said, "Well, ours came to us and made themselves known to us because we were lost, and that's therefore why they're called guides, right?" And I
Hmm.
said, so that's a compliment to you. I said, they're for you, they're cheerleaders. They're in the stands, just watching you do so great. Like, you haven't lost your way or forgotten your power or lost your voice, and hopefully you never do. And they can just continue being cheerleaders. And so it's just an interesting perspective, to hear from her, and for me to like have that thought process of,
Hmm.
what their purpose is and when they came into my life. And it was, during that time of, just lost my way.
Yeah.
So I think it's, whether the younger generation listening, perhaps this is information that will resonate very powerfully for them, or maybe they'll take, little nuggets. But I think either way, the information and knowledge is so profound that it'll continue to be an anchor, whether they know it or not, for later on in their life,
Hmm.
and a truth that they'll go back to if they ever need it.
Yeah. Yeah. Good, Nicole. You're right. That's spot on. I totally agree. And I see that again and again playing out. Pine Ridge for a moment. First, they're chastising me. I said earlier, Jerry, because I was bringing up we were talking about Heyoka and the coyote, the trickster. And um, I have all these birthday wishes coming, and I said it makes me really uncomfortable. And it does. But from Pine Ridge, I'm getting, Jim, stop doing that. You know better. You disrespect those wishing you happy birthday. And it's right. So when somebody says something good, accept it. And if anything, just say thank you. Because it's not how you see yourself, it's how they're seeing you at that point. So thank you guys. Now, the next part, they're glad to see that Jerry finally got in and he hasn't totally lost his culture. He's at least an hour late. So he's here. Please make Jerry tell a funny story.
So, um, I'll tell a coyote story. The first story Jim ever heard me tell,
Oh,
actually. So one day, Coyote was wandering around and looking for something to eat. He wandered here and there, and he was looking at the beautiful sky and looking at the clouds. And before you knew it, he got distracted. And when he looked back down, he realized he'd never been in this place before. He didn't know where he was. As he was trying to figure out where to go, he said, "Well, I'll go up to this high mesa, and then I'll be able to see where I'm at, and then I can find good hunting grounds from there and find some food." So he went up onto that mesa. As he was climbing up the mesa, he heard this beautiful song. He began following the source of the song. And before he knew it, he saw Grandmother Wren, and she was singing. And he said, Grandmother Wren, that's such a beautiful song. He said, I was lost and I heard that song and please, I have to know what that song is. Will you teach it to me? This is such a beautiful song. Please tell me what it is. Grandmother Wren said, Coyote, this song that you've heard me singing is a song of mourning, for I have lost my children. Could you please let me mourn, Coyote? Grandmother Wren, I don't care what you say. This is a beautiful song. You have to teach me this song. If you don't teach me, I'll eat you. Teach me this song. So Grandmother Wren sighed, knowing that gullible, foolish little Coyote would not give up on this until he got his way. So she sang the song and over until Coyote had it. And off Coyote went, running down the mesa, forgetting what he was going to do, and just singing this song to himself. And as he was going down the mesa, it became steep, and he slipped, and he tumbled down. When he found his footing again, he stood back up, and he looked around to see where he was. He realized he'd forgotten the song. So up the mesa he went again. Grandmother Wren, I forgot the song. Please, somebody tripped me. Please tell me the song again. So Grandmother Wren sighed and patiently sang the song again. Off again went Coyote. This time, as he was going, he realized that he had been hunting before he got lost. He must find something to eat. So he began sniffing and looking about for something to eat. And in his preoccupation, he realized once again he'd forgotten the song. Well, Grandmother Wren knew that foolish old Coyote would be back once again because he couldn't concentrate on anything and he would forget the song once again. So she did not want to be eaten. So what she did is she took some stones and a little bit of feathers and she fashioned something that looked kind of like her. And then off she flew. Coyote came back. Grandmother Wren, I forgot the song again. Please tell me the song. Silence. Grandmother Wren, you must tell me this song. I demand that you tell me this song. I deserve to have it. Silence still. Well, this was too much disrespect for Coyote. He could not be ignored and treated this way. So he pounced and he jumped on Grandmother Wren and bit down. He was going to eat her. Crunch. He bit into the rocks that Grandmother Wren disguised as herself. His teeth broke. Teeth flew everywhere. Blood began pouring down his mouth. He knew that there must be a spring nearby that he saw. So he was going to go to that spring and he would rinse his mouth out and wash the wounds and they would stop the bleeding. So he raced down to that stream. Bent down to drink that water. He looked and he saw this horrible creature right in front of him, just under the surface of the water. So he jumped back. Oh my God, there's a terrible creature there. It's going to eat me. So he ran off to find another spring. It was quite a while, and he continued to bleed from his broken teeth. He began to get weaker. Soon he did find another spring. And once again, as he bent down, that monster was still there. He jumped back. It's following me. It must be after me for some reason. I have to go on. I must go on. I'll find another watering hole. But this time he was getting weaker from the loss of blood. As he continued on, he decided he was tired. He would just lay down and sleep here. He'd rest a little while, then get up and he would find another place where that monster wasn't. And as he got weaker from the blood loss and he closed his eyes, Coyote never got up again. He died there because he was afraid of his own reflection. Not a happy story, but look at our lives. How often do the things that we fear, when we face those fears, we're like, what was I afraid of? I was afraid to tell my parents this. I was afraid to talk to my friends about something, the way I'm looking at the world, the way I'm thinking about a situation. I was afraid to speak up to defend someone that was being bullied. If we just go through those fears, we see that it was the fear itself that was the problem. If we face the fear that's within us, if we face those things that we tell ourselves, that we're not good enough, that we're inadequate, that nobody will understand me, nobody will listen to me, all the things we tell ourselves, when we face those things and we really look at those things, we see that actually they're as thin as and translucent and with as little substance as fog in the wind. Don't be afraid. Within you is a great beauty. Don't be afraid to listen to and trust your voice. Trust your instinct, that inner voice, that quiet, small voice that sometimes we let the craziness and the sounds of the world drown out, or our friends, peer pressure. We got to do this because. Don't be afraid to trust that voice, to trust yourself. Don't be afraid to trust what was given to you from your elders, the teachings, the stories that you've heard here. Trust in yourself. You are beautiful. You are wonderful. You are so, we are so blessed every time, and I've said this so many times, to have you young ones here. The joy that you bring each one of us every time you come, and the questions that you have, and the fact that some of you are talking about bringing some of your family members here. Are they there? And you talked about talking circles, and you talked about wanting to have a council. You are doing everything you want to do, everything you wish to see on at your home. You're creating it. You have that courage. You have that drive. That's amazing. I don't think I had that courage when I was that young. So I'll shut up now.
There are, and we welcome them. There are 4 family members who were mentioned last week who have come to join this time with their young people. That's great. I'd forgotten about that. I'm glad you brought it up.
I want to thank you for coming with your children.
Yep.
They're wonderful. They've came here. They've spoke about wanting to create community. So they're doing it. They brought you. That's it. I want to thank you for coming. I want to thank you for being part of this wonderful circle. I want to thank you
Yeah.
for being with your family, for your with the children, whether it's a son, daughter, whether it's a niece, a nephew, a granddaughter, a grandson. Thank you so much.
And I'm getting okay, Jim, your turn. Tell us about, excuse me, the possum and how the animals learned. Oh, okay. I know yeah, okay. Uh, so the animals were all beginning on the new earth. Grandmother Spider, Iktomi, had woven the earth, and now the creatures were starting to come on, and the animals were coming first. And as the animals come, they each had their own. Some had feathers, some had fur, some could fly, some swam. They all had different elements. And so Creator said, okay, I want to call together all these animals so we can see who and what we are. I haven't told this story in a long time. And so please, I want all the animals to come together in the big clearing in 2 days and come with something for the circle, for the group. And so 2 days later, the animals started to wander in, and the squirrels brought nuts, and the deer brought carrots, and all the animals were bringing something, and they piled it in the middle so that everybody could partake. They were creating their own feast. And some of the animals were walking rather slow. Some were not bringing anything. And one of the first ones was Possum. And Possum was coming with his big, beautiful, bushy tail, big, long, red tail, like a streamer out behind him. And he was so proud of that tail. And he would take it and stroke it and hold it over his shoulder and flip it around. And he definitely thought he was much more than anybody else. And he talked about how beautiful he was as they were introducing themselves. Look at this tail. No animal is beautiful as anyone has a tail like this. Look at this. And they would say, oh, possum. And he would say, don't opossum me. Where's your tail? You have nothing. You have just a little meager tail. And so this went on. The animals kept coming. And then Turkey came. And Turkey came strutting up, big, and spread behind him this huge array of beautiful, multicolored, long feathers, big, long feathers. Look at me. Look at how beautiful I am. Look at these feathers, and I can fan them out whenever I wish. There's no animal that has the beauty of Turkey. Look at Turkey here. And so as they tried to question him, same thing. And neither possum nor turkey had brought anything for the circle, for the collective, for the meal. And the other animals came, and Robin came and said, I don't have any great beauty, but I'm here, and I'm here in the beginning of each year. I will come early in the beginning, and I will show the other birds where to come, and where to catch the worms, and where to start digging holes so that crops can be grown by the people. And they all said, oh, that's really good, Robin. Thank you. Thank you, Robin. And the fish came, and the carp came. And the carp said, well, we're not anything particularly stunning to look at, but we are happy to allow some of our group to be taken and be food for the others in the way of the big circle. And in that way we serve. And everyone said, oh, thank you, carp. That is very beautiful of you. And so it went on and on and on. And again, Possum came up when it was his turn once again, and he just was flipping his tail around and stroking it, making sure it was clean, putting it over his shoulder and talking about how he was the most majestic of all these animals because of this tail he had. And then when he was done, Turkey came and fluffed out his big, huge feathers, these big, they look like eyes on the end, these big feathers with multiple colors. And he puffed it all out and he talked about, yeah, possum may have that beautiful tail, but look at this. Look at this tail. Look at these feathers. I'm a wondrous, wondrous bird, more beautiful than any other animal there is. And Creator watched all this and said nothing, as those who were not paying attention or who ego were talking. When Carp talked, he said, thank you, Carp. Thank you for giving and sharing. When the other animals who had something to give and offered things, when the robin spoke, he said, thank you, Robin. It is good that you come first in the spring. And then after they all ate a lot, Creator said, okay, now it's time to sleep. Everybody sleep, get their energy because we have a lot of things to do. And they did. The animals all started laying down. And it was not time yet where there was predator and prey. They lay side by side. So coyote might lay right next to Roadrunner, or a wolf might lay next to mouse. And they slept long, and they slept all through a day and on into the next day. And then they woke up and they were shaking themselves off and they were hungry. But first, they had to say hello to the day and to Creator again and to each other once more. And so they stood up. And Robin again said, I'm committed. I will be the first one out in the spring. Mouse came out and said, I will help carry these nuts. I will gather them. I will put them aside, but not just for me, for any who needs them. And then on it went. And then Possum came and he was ready to, oh no, what is this? Where's that beautiful tail? And he's trying to find his tail and stroke it. And all he has is this skinny, flesh covered tail with little dark hairs sticking out. And he didn't know what happened to his tail. And he was looking everywhere for that tail. And just then, Fox came by. And Fox was wearing that tail. And he was destroyed. What do I do? Fox stole my tail. And Creator said, be quiet. Be quiet, Possum. And then Turkey strutted up and same thing. And he went to fan out those, where's his feathers? All he has is some medium length, dark feathers. Some of them with a little white on the end. Where's my glorious feathers? Where is that fan of feathers, the beautiful, most beautiful animal there is? And he didn't know, and he started looking. And as he's looking, Peacock walks by and fans open his beautiful feathers. And Turkey said, Peacock has stolen my feathers. And Creator said, no, be quiet. Now everyone hear me. Possum and Turkey did not value and respect the gifts they had. So I assign their gifts to others. And anybody who does this, this is what will happen. If you move into ego, if you move into pride, then I will give it to somebody else. Somebody else will get your gifts because you can't share it if that's where you are. And so to this day, Possum walks with that skinny old tail, and Turkey walks with this little bitsy old tail of dark feathers. And Peacock struts along, but in a good way, sharing the beauty of his tail because it's not just for him, it's for everybody. And Fox runs across the field with his tail flowing out behind him because it's also not just for him, but for everyone to see and appreciate the beauty. And so it was that the animals learned the value of all their gifts. And I hope that's the story they wanted.
Sounds like a good story to me.
Yep, that was it. Okay. I haven't told that in, boy, several years at least. It is a good story, and for right now, it's a particularly good story because we have a lot of beings out there strutting around, saying how wonderful they are and how they are the best and the strongest, and everyone else is not. And maybe they should listen to this story. You're welcome, Nicole. You're welcome. Yeah, I always liked that story too. One of the first women I worked with was Native women was Carolyn Fiskus, and she was at Colorado State where I was, and I first received that story from her. Um, she would do it for about a half hour. She did it. She had a beautiful delivery. But anyway, we didn't have that kind of time. But I'm glad you appreciated and enjoyed it because it is a great teaching there. It definitely is. And also part of that is laugh at yourself. Possum now has to laugh at himself because he has no tail. And Turkey has to laugh at the fact he only has a little bitty old tail. Okay. Ooh, What else? Talking stick is here.
I thought, thank you for that story. Also,
Hmm.
and sometimes when we are meeting other people, like coming into their gifts and stuff, like I always tell them, like, use your
Hmm.
gift. You were given it for a reason. You know, if you don't use it, it's like you're slapping like God source creator in the face. Like, you know, you have use the gift, you know, and it's like, you know, step into that gift and use it in a good way that shares it. Otherwise, why have it at all? So,
Yep.
so that was really powerful. Thank you.
Thank you. I thought also like an extension of that is how many of us have a gift, but we're trying to fit it to someone else's gift? Like, like
Yep.
we're trying to mold ourselves to these like
Yep.
places where we don't fit. And it's like, well,
Yep.
how come I couldn't have the tail like that? How come I couldn't have the the peacock feathers, and we're trying to like fit that when it's appreciation for what we have and what we can bring to the community, just like all the other animals.
Yes.
That this is what I can offer, this is what I can give, and they understood their role and how it all fit together. So they weren't
Yeah.
trying to be something that wasn't them.
No, this is really good. Yeah. It's good insights. I totally agree. It is. And appreciate your gifts. Use the gifts you have. I mentioned earlier that when we were talking about the brave that went to the elder because he was so depressed and he was asked, when did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? And I mentioned, I can write and speak, but I can't dance. I can't sing. And part of me would like to do those things, but that's not for me. So I use what I have. And that's something we all have to do. Absolutely right. Absolutely. Because we each have a gift that is important to the circle. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm thinking again about the animals. And I've had people I work with who are seeking their animal guide, and the guide shows up. And it's not always a wolf or a lion or a bear. It could be anything. And I remember one fellow, it was an earthworm, and he's just like, "Oh, come on. What are you kidding me?" And there was a young woman, she was in her teens in the circle as we were talking. She goes, "Do you understand what an earthworm does? In the earth, the earthworm can only move and dig in one way, and that's in the shape of a heart. And that's what he does. So you spread love through the whole planet." And yeah, he shut up. I don't know if he liked it, but he shut up. So yeah, good pieces. Go on.
Like like
Whoops.
I've said to the kids here before, if you are here on this planet, or if you are here on Mother Earth, you are here because you deserve to be, you have a right to be, and you have something to give.
Yep.
Creator made you, and you're just you being you, just living your best life that you can possibly live. You are a gift. I've
Yep.
talked about how much you meant to us and the joy you brought to our hearts
Hmm.
just by being here, just by being you and asking the questions you ask. You're
Hmm.
a gift. I want to thank you again. I'm always going to thank you. The young people that come here, I mean, this, you know, 20, 30 years ago, you wouldn't see a circle like this happen. You wouldn't see
No.
young kids stepping forward like this.
No. Yep.
You are our future.
Nor would you see multi-cultures and ages and genders represented.
Hmm.
I mentioned how earlier when I stepped up and I thought I was just white, how I was treated, and many were. And that's just the way it was then. Now we're seeing people step up, and that's a beautiful thing. You're right, Jerry. Ooh,
So, any more requests from Pine Ridge?
whoops. This was a really, really good show. We all enjoyed it. Thank you so much. We hit many things. We need more shows like this, pointing out, pointing out. He's stuck. The positive. That's what he's trying to say. He said the pause, but that's because his, yeah, the positive things. Thank you all. Um, and they're thankful we're going to be doing this every week now.
Yeah.
That's it. We thank them too. Absolutely. Always. And everybody. And that means those who are listening now, and certainly those who will listen. And if this has value for you, share it out there. Let others hear it. Anything that helps right now is awesome. So good.
And go to the page on Facebook if you can. And if it's something happens between now and next Tuesday, post something. Contact us on the page through Facebook. However, we're there for you. This is what this is created for. We are of service to you. We are there for you if we can help in any way, anytime. It doesn't just have to be Tuesdays between these hours. This is community. This is family. We help each other. There's no timetable. There's no schedule to that.
Yeah, that's good. And this was a creation of all of us tonight. So thank you for that too. Some of you guys were a little slow starting up, but that's okay. This is new. We all contributed, and that's beautiful. That's exactly what these things, any one of us could share a couple hours of teachings. Any one of us, anyone here right now, and almost any. But when we do it like this collectively, it's really 1 + 1 = 3 or 4 or even 5. And so thanks to everybody for that. And thanks to our relatives up in Pine Ridge. I hope to come up to see you guys soon. It'll be the spring now because did I mention how it's really good that I'm in Arizona right now? Yeah, I think I did. Oh, this
I
darn
want to thank the people that came today. I want to thank you so much. Matt, as always, it's good to see you. Whitney, it is so great to see you here. Nicole, I'm so glad you came. Sarah's not here anymore, but I'm glad she was here again.
She had to leave because she had to
Hey,
go.
there they are.
There they go.
Nicole and Brett, so good to see you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome to the family.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're happy. Thank you for sending us the invitation and
Yeah.
helping us connect. We're grateful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, these are always, I really enjoy these. They help me for sure. And I give thanks for that. Did the other Matt need to talk? Oh,
The
okay.
other Matt.
Well, I see we had,
Oh my
two
gosh,
Matts.
2 of me? Yikes.
Matt squared. Oh my God. All right.
There's 2 of them.
There's 2.
That's the evil one. I'm the good
The
version.
evil twin?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
two of
okay. Yeah. The Wicked Witch of the West then. Okay. Jerry, do you want to take us out with a prayer? I brought us in.
Okay. Actually, would some of our new guests, would either one of you wish
Yeah,
to step forward
that's
and guide
fine.
us out?
Yep. That's
It's okay.
okay. You'll work
It's
your
all
way
right.
up to it.
It's all right. Just figured I would ask. I was taught to share
I
the
did at the
blessing.
beginning too, so yeah.
I was taught to share the blessing of those responsibilities.
Yep.
Mm.
She had me on mute. She couldn't hear me.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I could do a closing prayer.
He opened with
Cool. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Does it? I traditionally start in the south when I start to close. I mean, are you guys okay with that?
Of course,
No.
this is a circle. There's
No.
no wrong. Where's the
Okay.
right point to start?
Cut him off.
Put him out.
Put him out. He doesn't know which way he's going.
Give him the boot.
Nicole, show him the door.
Oh, now your dog's involved. Yeah, I guess I'd like to thank the south door, the wind, allowing us to shed and release and let go of things that don't serve us or the greater good. And I really like to thank the west. For me, that's the bear and the jaguar. They guide us through tough times, dark times, so we can help get through and mulch away the heaviness that we carry. And then to the north, ancient ones, grandfathers, grandmothers, people who have taught us and give us the discernment of their knowledge. And the great buffalo who stands in that north gate, feeling his strength. And I'd like to thank the east, the red road, the spirit road. Thank you for always showing us that path that we need to see from a higher perspective. Ooh, giving thanks to the eagle and other great birds from above, helping us soar through those times that we need that spirit up above. I'd like to thank Mother Earth for always holding us from our first breath until our last and giving us all the things that we need on this journey we take on Earth. I'd like to thank Creator, the heavens above, the sun, the moon. Thank you for shining that light on us. Thank you for illuminating our ways. Thank you, dear God, for allowing us to live in this 3D world and be here to help change the things that we can and accept the things that we can't. Oh, and then I want to give one more thanks to self and everybody who's here with us. So, aho.
Oh, very good. Good prayer. Thank you.
Thank you.
And so also, yeah. Oh, must be talking to somebody else. I thought he was trying to talk here. Also, topics. If anybody has topics, whether it's us who are on now or whoever hears this, you can put them up in the group as well, and we'll see if we can incorporate them. Because this is to come from the circle. This isn't about Jerry and I. We're just guides. So thank you all. This was an excellent program. Appreciate it, and I know it'll help others. So you all served. We all served.
One last thing before we go.
Okay.
Happy birthday to
Oh,
Jim.
To
God.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday.
to Jim. Happy birthday, dear Jim.
Yeah.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
I am so,
Thank-
thank you very much. And I am very gratified to see I'm not the only one who can't really sing.
Yay!
Blessings
If
to
all
all.
the birds that couldn't sing didn't make a note, it'd be a quiet woods. So that's the way I look at
That's
it.
right.
So-
Ain't that the truth? Yep. Even the ones
thank
that
you so much
squawk.
for being you, Jim, and creating this space and like just bringing us together. So
Yeah.
we really appreciate it.
It's good space. We'll
Mhm.
keep doing more. We're playing
Right.
we are playing a key role in this, like everyone else.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll be here every Tuesday.
Yep.
You guys are always
Excellent.
welcome.
Oh,
Yep.
awesome. Thank you, Jerry, for letting us know. Thank you. It's good to see your face.
Yeah, it's good seeing you.
Yeah.
I'll get in touch with you soon.
All right.
Night all.
Bye.
Love
Bye.
you all.
Love
you all.
you. Bye.
Love you guys.
Bye.